Hi friends, welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. Today we have another fun playlist for you. I'll let you know more about that in a few minutes, but first of all, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Brenda and this is my sweet Oliver, and if you're returning, you guys are amazing. So with all of that being said, let's get to crafting. Okay, DIY number 1. So I'm going to take an 8 by 12 wood piece that came from Woodpecker Crafts, and then that bottom piece is from Dollar Tree. I just marked it where I want to cut it, and then I had 2 of these 5 by 8 wood dowels from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to measure them down to 12 inch. I'm going to cut out 4 12-inch pieces. And then after those were all cut down, I went over all of them with my Waverly wax my antique Waverly wax. Yeah, Waverly antique wax. There we go. I'm just going to brush it on and wipe it off with a paper towel. And you see those 2 wood pieces there? Well, I ended up having to cut a third because one of those I cut down too small, but I'll show you what I do with it later. So after I had those all waxed, I am going to I'm going to take that 8 by 12 and I'm going to paint it with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Cashew. Once it was dry, I went over it with some Mod Podge and then I'm going to let it dry, but you could use any kind of decoupage medium that you might have on hand. Once it was dry, I took this beautiful rice paper that I got from Brandy with the DIY struggle. I laid it down on my wood piece and I'm going to cover it with my parchment paper. I'm going to go over it with my heat press. The parchment paper protects that picture and then the heat press reactivates that Mod Podge so it sticks, but you could use whatever method works best for you for decoupaging. Once I was done, I went over it again with a little bit of Mod Podge to give it that protective coat, and then once it was dry, I just sanded off the edges with my little finger sander. Then I'm going to take my Titebond Quick and Thick Multi-Surface Glue and I'm going to put it on the side of one of those Dollar Tree wood pieces, and I'm just going to add a few little drops of hot glue and I'm going to glue that to the base of my sign here. And I gave it a few minutes to hold, and then I'm going to take one of the wood dowels here with my Titebond glue. I'm going to glue it to the side of my picture, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the other wood dowel. I'm going to glue that right to the side of my picture as well. And then I'm going to I ended up going and cutting a couple more pieces. I didn't measure them. So I cut them down, I went over them with my antique wax, and I glued them on the bottom side. I wish I would have done 2 more for the top. So if you recreate this, that might be something you might want to do. It'll just give it a little more it would be a little more sturdy. Boy, I'm having a ball with my words today. I then added the last 2 dowels, and then I'm going to put some of my Titebond Quick and Thick Multi-Surface Glue on the top of each of those dowels, and I'm going to glue the one of those wood pieces from Dollar Tree on the top. Then I'm going to take that smaller one, the one that I cut too small, and I'm going to add my Titebond glue. I think I added way too much glue there, but I'm going to glue that right to the top of my lantern that I'm making. Then this piece was another piece that I had cut off from those pieces. I went over it with antique wax and used my Titebond glue to glue that on top as well. And then I took one of these birch wood pieces from Dollar Tree. I went over them with that antique wax, and then I'm going to glue that on the very top. And then I thought I need to dress this up a little bit, make it look a little more Christmassy. So I'm going to take some of these garland ties from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to hot glue them all around the top lid part as well as the bottom. And you guys, I just love how this came out. It is so beautiful. Then I took, if I do say so myself, I'm going to take some, these are cedar picks. I got these from Amazon. I cut some down. I'm going to glue them in place. This comes from a wreath ring from Dollar Tree, or candle ring. I don't know what you like to call them. Both of these pieces do. I just cut pieces off of those and then glue them all on. Then I'm going to just add some pine cones here for that rustic look and feel. I'm going to add some little red berries for that Christmassy feel. And then I'm going to take this candle. This is an LED candle I got from Amazon. I added some of that garland on the bottom, and then I'm just going to add 3 little pine cones to the front, And that's all there is for this one. And I just love how this came out. I think that rice paper is just gorgeous. I just love it. You have to let me know what you think about this in the comment box below. Okay, today is the Creating Through the Seasons playlist, and it is hosted by Brandy with the DIY Struggle. And she got a lot of us together to use her products that she sells on her website, which is the DIYstruggle.com. And you will want to go check out her stuff because she's got some beautiful stuff and I really enjoyed using it. So make sure you check out her channel. Make sure you check out her website. Again, the DIYstruggle.com. And then make sure you check out the playlist. I will have links to all of them in my description box below. Okay, we have DIY number 2. I'm going to take one of these pieces. I was cleaning my craft room recently and I found a whole bunch of these and I'm like, oh my goodness. So I don't know if Dollar Tree has them or not. They do have the arch picture frames now that you could use instead, but this has 2 pieces to it. So I'm just going to remove the hanger and that back piece, and then I am going to remove that front piece from it. And then I'm just going to do a little light sanding all over it just so that that paint adheres to it a little bit better. And I was going to paint it, then I remembered how hard these things are to paint in between the crevices. So I decided to take my Waverly chalk paint in the color white, and I am just doing, no, actually I think this was plaster. I'm just doing a light dry brushing over it. Maybe a heavy dry brushing. But anyways, once I was done, no, I think this was white, it was either white or plaster, you guys. I don't even remember, but I'm going to just paint. This is a basswood piece of wood that came from Amazon. And let me tell you, it's like paper thin. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I painted it with my white chalk paint there. Then I have this tissue paper that also came from the DIYstruggle.com. I cut out the part that I wanted to use. I'm laying it down on my wood piece and tracing it out just so that I know where to put my Mod Podge. And I'm just going to rub my Mod Podge all on here and then let that dry. Again, you could use whatever decoupage medium works for you. And I'm going to do my usual covering it up with parchment paper and using my heat press. And then I am going to go over it again with some more Mod Podge for that protective coat. Once that was dry, I took my tacky glue, Aliens tacky glue, and I'm going to go all around the back side of my window frame here. And then I'm going to wipe off the excess that was on the sides there. I'm going to glue that right in place. Oh my goodness, look how pretty that is. But I wasn't liking all the white. I just felt like it felt too stark. And so I went ahead and took Dusk by Waverly, and I'm going to brush all around that picture frame and just paint that whole wood piece all over again. I didn't paint the back though. That's still white. Then when I was looking at this, I kept thinking of the song Silent Night, and I kept thinking of the words All Is Calm. So I took my Cricut and created the stencil, and then I'm just going over it with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White. And I'm just using a small paintbrush to go over that. And then once that was dry, I removed all my vinyl pieces from that. I'm going to take some more of that garland and I'm going to wrap it around this candle here just to make a wreath. I'm going to tuck in those ends, and then I'm going to hot glue it to the front of my arch window frame there, but don't do what I do. Oh my goodness, I don't know why I did it that way. Should have just went around the back of my wreath. It would have been a lot easier, but this one I was like, why am I doing it this way? Oh my goodness. And then I have this wood star that came from Amazon, and I'm just going to glue that on there, and I'm going to add a few little berries. I get these from Amazon. You can usually find them at Hobby Lobby. Sometimes you can find them at Dollar Tree. I'm going to take some more of that garland, and I'm going to twist 2 of them together, and then I'm going to hot glue it all around my window frame. And I guess I needed to show you this whole thing in case you don't know how to glue garlands. Oh my goodness, sometimes. Okay, so once I got to the end, I did add a little bit to the bottom of that as well. I took my big mouth crocodile here, and I'm going to create some holes, but really you could probably use a paper cutter because this basswood is so thin. And I just strung through some twine for a hanger and tied knots on the back. And that's all there was. Nope, there's more. I forgot. I used my Snow Tex. I get this from Hobby Lobby. You can get it from Amazon, but it was cheaper on Hobby Lobby. So I went around and I'm just going to add this to my sign. I'm going to go all the way around it with this brush. It's an old brush and there it is. I love this. I love that picture. It is just beautiful. I hope you enjoyed this as well.
Well, I hope you guys are enjoying this video and this playlist. You guys, Brandy is amazing. She always cracks me up. She has the funniest humor, but she has some amazing stuff on her website. So make sure you check out her stuff. I'll have links to her in my description box. But when she reached out and asked if we wanted to be part of this playlist, or if I wanted to be part of this playlist, I was so excited because her stuff is very pretty. And yeah, I was excited to see what I was going to get to use. And yeah, so here we are. So make sure you check them all out. But I always like to stop in here. You guys know that. And just chat with you a little bit. If you're new here, I would love to welcome you here. And I would love it if you enjoyed today's video and you like home decor on a budget. I may not be as funny as Brandy, but I tend to have a little humor once in a while. Anyways, I'd love it if you'd hit that red subscribe button, become part of our YouTube family, and let me know in the comment box that you're new here. I'd love to get to know you. And then, of course, for all of you guys who are always here for every video, I appreciate you guys so very much. You mean the world to me. And yeah, I think that's all I'm going to have to say today because it's busy time and I'm trying to get my Christmas decor up in my house. So I got to get busy. Anyways, with all of that, let's continue on with the video.
Okay, it is a time for a celebration of your recreations, and look at all these cute pieces that Renee made. Her cute gnome snowman and the fireplace and her gingerbread house, wonderful. And then Robin made this beautiful wreath. Oh my goodness, it is so pretty, Robin. Thank you so much for sharing that. And then Tammy, look at her reindeer. They are so cute. And she made this Scrabble box. I think she said it was her daughter who loves Scrabble. I love it. Thank you, ladies. And if you have something you've created that you would like me to showcase, you can send me some pictures to my email address at rusticandlacediy@gmail.com, or you can send them to me through Instagram or Facebook Messenger. And a big thank you to Jackie. She sent me some money to buy me some coffees or supplies, and I'd really appreciate it. If you want to help donate, you can go to my Buy Me a Coffee account that's listed there. Okay, DIY number 3. I'm going to take 2 of those wood pieces that I had cut off from the first DIY. I'm going to paint them with Waverly chalk paint in the color celery. And those little trees, I think I got them last year, I think from Amazon. And I'm going to paint them with Folk Arts Antique Green, which is a beautiful green. I love it. Then I'm going to take these beautiful rub-on transfers, again, from the DIYstruggle.com. I'm going to take, the moose here, and I'm going to put them onto this one wood piece, the bigger wood piece here. I'm just going to rub, and these went on so nicely, you guys. I barely had to rub. There was a few spots I missed, but other than that, it just went on beautifully. I'm going to put the bear on the smaller one here. And then after that, I'm going to take my trees and I'm going to glue the smaller one on top of the bigger one. I'm going to do 2 sets of those. And then I'm going to kind of lay them out where I want them, and I'm going to use my pencil on the back here to just kind of trace it out so that way I know where to put my glue. And again, I'm going to use my Tite Bond Quick and Thick Multi-Surface Glue. If you've watched me for a while, you know it's one of my favorite glues. I use it all the time. And then I'm going to just put it all over there, and I'm going to add my trees to the back of it. I had to sit there and go, wait, is it upside down? Which way am I doing this? It would have been just like me to put it on upside down. Anyways, then I decided to go ahead and take my stapler and staple them in place as well, just to give it that added security. Then I'm going to take some more of this garland and I'm going to hot glue it all around my bottom sign here. Again, I love this garland. It's fun to dress things up with. And then I'm going to take some more of my candle wreaths, whatever you want to call them. I cut them down and I hot glued them to the bottom. I'm going to add some of my pine cones here to the bottom as well. And then I realized I had put some spackling in the hanger holes, and I'm like, why did I do that? I need hanger holes. So I'm using my little Cricut tool to punch through that spackling. Luckily, it hadn't completely dried yet. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some more berries. And then I'm just going to add some twine to my hanger holes here. I just put some tape around the end and then strung that through. I was having a heck of a time to get it go through though. So I have my little needle nose pliers there to help me pull them out. And yeah, anyways, once I get it through, I'm going to just tie knots on the end so that way they stay, trim off all the excess. And then I'm just going to take that Snow Tex again. I'm going to go over all of the garland and the greenery pieces and the pine cones and the berries and even the sides of my sign. And then after that, and I'm putting a pretty thick layer. I wanted it to really look snowy. I'm going to go over the edges of the trees too. And as you can see, I create a mess when I do that. But there they are. I think these came out really nice. I love them. They're very rustic woodland. I hope you like them as well. The final reveal is coming right up. So make sure you guys check out the DIYstruggle.com as well as Brandy's channel. And then don't forget to check out this playlist. I'm sure you will get a lot of inspiration with it. And with all of that, you guys, I will be back again on Tuesday for the Just Our Imagination Challenge. So stay tuned for that. So with all that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.